We are 1 month away from probably one of the most exciting seasons of anime yet. The fall 2022 anime season looks absolutely insane. And while a lot of people, including myself, is getting extremely excited, there is one fandom that is not so much celebrating. Yes, the Bleach fandom. Very much so warranted though. I am in agreement with a lot of fans of Bleach that things are not looking so good. I reported a while ago that Bleach unfortunately has a lot of leaks coming out that paint a very bad picture for the future of the series for at least the Western audience. These leaks, and I want to emphasize leaks, this is not confirmed yet, stated that Disney Plus had snatched up the license for the series. Well, recently, things got a little bit more heated as we had those same leakers coming out and saying that it wasn't going to be simulcast. There will be no simulcast of the series in the West. And again, I want to emphasize once again, this is a leak and not confirmed yet. Still, I've been kind of holding hope on that. The idea that it's a leak, that's a possibility that it could be wrong, or like I stated in my video, it's that we don't have the complete picture of it. My viewpoint is in the idea that yes, Bleach could have been licensed by Disney Plus in Japan. There's a possibility that maybe the West license is a little bit different. That possibly Disney did not pick up the worldwide release of it. That somebody else could possibly grab it. But as we get closer and closer and closer to its airing date, I'm starting to lose my hope around the series. That's mainly because if Crunchyroll has that license, we would have known by now. Again, besides Chainsaw Man, I believe Bleach is easily one of the most anticipated shows. It's been over 10 years since we had a season of it, and people are dying to see the rest of it in animated format. But there's finally hope. There's finally hope out there. And that is through a release on the New York Comic Con's website, a listing of panels that will be there. And one listing is Bleach 1,000 Year Blood War Episode 1 Premiere Event by Viz. Yes, the Viz company that everybody loves so much. I didn't realize just how much people, at least Bleach fans, despise Viz. At this point, though, again, very warranted. In this listing, they state, in the must-see panel of New York Comic Con, thousands of lucky fans will get to see Episode 1 of Bleach, 1,000 Year Blood War, ahead of the, wait for it, simulcast. Ahead of the simulcast. Very, very, very interesting. This obviously restores a lot of hope in people. This at least, hopefully whoever wrote this knows what's going on. This isn't just like a slip of the tongue, but this at least tells us that there is some sort of plan for a simulcast in the West. Now, the unfortunate thing that I kind of feel from this whole thing is that with how late this is, and with other listings stating that this will be kind of an announcement of where it will be simulcast, it sort of gives you the feeling that we're not going to know anything until at least October. And that's really terrifying. Now, the thing that this sort of starts to get running in my head is a possibility this is a sign that it's not so much that Disney has it and they don't care about talking about it, and there's this big hush-hush about who announces it, but more of a fact that I wonder if there's a bidding war happening. That there's a lot of fighting back and forth between two particular companies of deciding who is going to get this franchise, whether it be Disney or Crunchyroll. And maybe because this bidding war is going for so long, that's why we have no answers. Nobody's able to state anything. And that would sort of explain why Disney, if this leak is true, the leaker from Disney possibly thinks that they have it. They bid a whole bunch and they have it in their hands, and then there's this whole aspect of, wait, Crunchyroll wants to bid a little bit more, or Sony wants to bid a little more, if you want to put it that way. But there is a lot of fighting happening back and forth between these two companies, and it being such a big brand, that price is going up and up and up, which is great for the original license owners. They're probably going to get quite a penny from this. And Sony's fight for the franchise, or Bleach, is going to be a difficult one because, yes, Disney has some really big pockets. So it is an aspect of who's got bigger pockets, Sony or Disney, which I think a lot of people would probably argue it's Disney. But how far is Disney willing to go? How far are they willing to push this? Now, my original statements, I believe that Disney was just planning on getting rights in Japan. Because technically the only reason that Disney is getting into the market, at least from my perspective, is to get into Japan. They shouldn't really care about what's going on in the West. That's why they picked up things like Summertime Render, and they're never planning on releasing it anywhere else, as it seems, at least except for Australia and some other couple places. It doesn't seem like it's really going anywhere in the West in regards to something like United States. There is some whispers that it will go on Hulu, but even still, with this delay, a lot of the hype around the series has really died. So it makes me believe that their only focus really is in Japan. So it makes me believe that if this rumor's true, that Disney might take a step back at some point and either say, you know, look, we only want Japan. Let them have the rest. And then that might come to a compromise. But again, I believe this long wait for fans to know exactly where they're going to be able to watch this stuff is as a possible sign that there is a bidding war happening. It's either that or they just don't care. Somebody has the license and they really don't care, which is a huge disaster, like a huge marketing disaster. Like I've told several people, if Disney does have this, it benefits them so much to say, we are going to simulcast it. Because guess what? When it comes to simulcasts, it's a lot more beneficial to you that you have people sign up for Disney Plus for several months as the show is airing each episode each week, rather than just do a full dump. Somebody signs up, watches the whole thing, and then drops their sub. It's just like my whole issue with Netflix. It never makes sense to me. If they want the anime fans, it benefits them to simulcast because it gets longer subscriptions. Either way, I am happy that we finally at least have something. At least we now know that they're using the word of simulcast. Now, the problem that comes from this still into the future is that what kind of simulcast? Are we talking about simulcast being several weeks delay? Is it simulcasting the idea that it's simulcasting in Japan and they're just using the wrong wording here? But we're still kind of in the air, but at least we have something, a hint that their focus still is to eventually, hopefully, bring it to the West. Bring it to the fans over here. Because again, this has been a long time waiting, and it sucks to have to wait even longer. And avoid spoilers for those that are anime only. And additionally, nobody wants to have to go to other means to get it. Because darn sure, and I really do hope this, that if somebody does grab up this license like Disney and doesn't plan to release it in the West at a timely manner, I'm really hoping that we get a really solid team of people that are going to be fan subbing this stuff, because I don't want a repeat of summertime rendering. People just copying, pasting manga panels onto the show itself and just posting it whenever willy-nilly. Yes, I understand they're doing it for free, but still, it is a painful wait sometimes. And again, with something as huge as Bleach, people are going to want to be able to see it very quickly. Finally, I do want to give a lot of credit to people. Now, granted, I don't really like harassment, but at the same time, I do give a lot of respect for fans out there that are just letting their voice be heard. Telling Viz Media, telling Disney, if that's the case, telling these companies that if this is the case, if you're planning on holding back on simulcast, don't. People are getting the word out there. It's trending like crazy. People really pushing simulcast Bleach. I really do give fans a lot of credit for letting their voice be heard. And it really does give you a sense of how passionate fans are. How much they don't want this to be the case. They don't want this love of theirs to be robbed from them. With that said, I just want to get you guys an update on the whole situation. Hopefully we know something before October. I hope we don't have to wait until New York Comic Con before this happens, but either way, let me know in the comments down below what you think of this whole situation. Hit that like button if you like this video. Additionally, if you've not already, make sure that subscribe button so you get all my content. I do news, reviews, first impression. If it's anime, it's pretty much here. Additionally, if you like my content, I would greatly appreciate if you consider supporting us on Patreon, our tips link, or our super thanks button down below. I greatly appreciate everybody that does, and y'all take care.